네, 그럼 첫 번째 세션인 인간과 AI의 공존이란 주제로 강연과 특별 대담이 있겠습니다. 프란치스코 교황 AI 윤리 고문이신 파울로 베난티 신부님과 카이스트 정재승 교수님을 앞으로 모시도록 하겠습니다. 네, 파울로 베난티 신부님은 UN AI 고위급 자문기구위원, 이탈리아 총리실 산하 AI위원회 위원장 등으로 활약하신 세계적인 AI 윤리 전문가입니다. 먼저 파울로 베난티 신부님의 강연을 큰 박수와 함께 청해 듣도록 하겠습니다. Our first speaker is Father Paolo Benanti. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good morning to everyone. It's for me a deep pleasure to be here this morning with you to try to focus why ethics and AI can stay together. To understand why we need ethics, we have to simply ask ourselves, what does it mean to have an ethical questioning of technology? We can imagine that talking about ethics of technology could mean to think what is best and what is worst. But this is just the wrong question when we look at technology. What does it mean to have an ethical approach to technology? Well, to answer to this question, I need to propose you a couple of examples from the history of technology, simple to stress what is the role of ethics in technology. The first example comes from the last century in Manhattan, New York. Manhattan, as we know today, is also a cooperation of a lot of different entities, but one of the first and biggest efforts to make Manhattan what is today was made by a politician, Robert Moses, in the half of the last century. Well, Moses is a man with some clear political ideas, and his influence on the shaping of Manhattan was so powerful that Robert Caro wrote a book on his life, and this book won a Pulitzer Prize and is still one of the 100 most read books in non-fictional US books list. Well, opening this book, we can discover that Robert Caro has a clear political idea, that is that the best part of the city has to be kept for the best part of population. That in his own mentality, an idea that today probably is and we hope is unacceptable, the best part of population was represented by the white, rich middle class. Well, one of the idea of Caro was, one of the idea of Moses was to keep the John's Beach in Long Island just for the white, rich middle class. And how to achieve this kind of results? First of all, he never built any public transportation system between Manhattan and Long Beach. The second thing is when he built an highway, the Parkway, to connect the two elements of the city, Manhattan to John's Beach, he simply built the bridge over the highway, according to Caro, 2 feet lower than the standard, 66 centimeters. No buses can commute on that street. Only the people that can afford a car at that time have the power to go to the beach. Well, this is a clear example that when a technology is deployed inside a social space, a technology is simply a form of order and a shaping of power. Ethics of technology is the way to questioning technology in the moment of deploying the technology in a society to understand which kind of shaping of power and form of order is injected inside society. Today is not anymore a matter of concrete and asphalt, like with the highway. But every time that we inject inside a public space an algorithm, the chain of if, this, then, that are included inside such kind of algorithm are shaping the power and giving a form of order inside society in a not different way that concrete and asphalt was able to do with Robert Moses Bridge. So the first role of ethics of technology is not to give an answer, is to questioning technology, to allow all the stakeholders to be aware of the transformational power of a technology, and to give the correct answer according to their own role inside this governance process. But this is not enough. Let me back to another example. The second example comes from California during the 1970s. In the early 70s in California, we have 3,200 tomato producers. Well, this 3,200 tomato producer was connected to the production of tomato that it's a really core element for the transformation of United States from a rural, majority rural country to a city-centered country. The reason is too big to be explained now, but this kind of transformation was connected to the food production. Well, in the 1975, the engineer faculty of California University invented a new machine, a big, huge machine that was able to pass over tomatoes, take the tomatoes, destroy the rest of the plant, and box the tomatoes in a really automatic process. That kind of mechanical and automational transformation lowered the cost of harvesting tomatoes to $2 per ton. It's impressive. But what happened in 1980? The number of farms dropped from 3,200 to almost 200. Why? Is it the number of tomato lower than before? Not at all. The number of tomato rise and the need of the market for tomato rise, but the price of that machine in 1975 was $175,000 at that time, also almost $500,000 of today. Not all the farmers can afford it. And this is another element connected to innovation. When an innovation is deployed on the market, it produces a concentration of the market because not all the players can afford such kind of innovation. And the second effect, and I'm an Italian with a lot of Italian bias, is that to allow such kind of automatic process to pick tomato, they have to select a special tomato that can resist to the compression, to the mechanical compression of the machine. Well, the results was that such kind of tomato is much less tasty than the original tomato. So we have another effect of such kind of deploying of innovation in society. First, every innovation layer is producing a contraction of the market that is unfair and simple based on the ability of expand for such kind of innovation. Try to think to what is going on to the news market in the digital space. Only the news producers that can afford digital means and digital platform are surviving to such kind of confrontation. And the second thing is the change of quality of the product, because all the news that are much more read today in the market are simple the news that the algorithm can best pick and match to people. So such kind of transformation is the second direction of questioning technology that an ethical approach to AI has to produce. Third and last example from the history come from analyzing which kind of technology is artificial intelligence. When we develop technology, there are two families of technology. The first one is the special purpose technology. Human beings have some kind of needs, and to answer to those needs, we develop tools. So if we are hungry, we develop tools that are much more efficient to, for example, cultivate food or to obtain food. But there is a moment inside the development of technology in which we don't develop a special purpose technology, but something different that we define a general purpose technology. For example, electricity is a general purpose technology. It's not used to do one thing, but it's changing the way in which we do everything. And what happened when we develop such kind of technology? Well, you can see on the slide that there are two images. On the left side, you have Samuel Insull. Samuel Insull is behind General Electric Company, and is the first one that simply distributes electricity in the market. To make it, he applied a model that is called democratize. He lowered the price, a lot of family and people acquire electricity, and electricity is distributed inside the market. And this is what's happening now with gigs with your smartphone. A lot of players lowering the price of a gigabyte, and everyone is using much more the smartphone. On the right side, you can see the first 5-year plan of the Russia, Lenin 5-year plan, and is called the Goelro plane. The Goelro plane used electricity to produce the Sovietization of the Russian republics. This is a really interesting thing, because every time that you have a general purpose technology, the distribution model of such kind of technology, and this is the title of this AI world, unlimited scalability, is connected to a vision of society and a vision of relationship that is unavoidable and is propagated by the model of technology. So these three kind of questions has to be applied to the big team that is the team of AI, in which AI has to be understood as the use of information to control the machine that is simple changing the machine in a new way. If the machine that made the Industrial Revolution was simply able to surrogate muscular power of human beings, such kind of machine is able to acquire an ends from the human beings and finding the means to satisfy such kind of ends. This kind of machine is able to adapt himself and the reaction to fullify such kind of ends, and the ethical question arise in the three directions that I simply highlighted. First, which kind of transfer of power and form of order will be injected in society? Which transformation of the typical task will be produced, and what will be the concentration of the market that we have? Third, if we would like to make it scalable, if we would like to distribute it, which model we have to follow to guarantee a governance of AI that is compatible with the societal elements that are at the core of our society. Those are the questions, up to us the way to answer. Thank you.
Very impressive.
네, 파올로 베난티 신부님 좋은 강연 감사합니다. Thank you, Father Paolo Benanti. 이어서 정재승 교수님의 강연을 들어보도록 하겠습니다.